Well, hey, all artist friends. Welcome back to Miss Raga's Art Room. Here it is. It's perspective time. Perspective, perspective. I love perspective. I really do love perspective. I don't know why. There's just something fascinating to me personally about this idea that we can use a system of lines to construct a cool world in which anything can happen, right? Now, remember what I discussed from our PowerPoint introduction into perspective, right? Perspective is not realistic drawing, right? We want to draw realistically. We'll just work with a really good photo reference or a really good still life, and we will draw what we see. Perspective, on the other hand, is more theory. It's understanding how we relate to a three-dimensional space that we are not actually in, right? Which is really cool. Okay, so we've got to do some setup before we do our exercises with perspective to actually get to the main drawing work on this project. So first things first, everybody should understand I'm working on a half-size sheet of paper, right? You have the full 11 by 17 or larger, depending on what paper we're using this year. I'm working on the half size because quite frankly, it just fits better on the camera. Okay, so here we go. First thing, grab that ruler. Using a mechanical pencil or a well-sharpened, okay, whoop, or a well-sharpened pencil. Go ahead, you're gonna line your ruler up on the edge of the paper and you're gonna make little dots at the 1-inch mark, 2 of them, right? And notice what I mean by little dots. I mean like little dot, little tiny dot there, okay? Little tiny mark. And then we'll use those little tiny marks to line up and create, ooh, I'm sliding my backing paper around here. It's tough with the camera because I've got this arm that's rigged up and holding my paper in place. There it is. Okay. And I'm gonna draw out my 1-inch mark. Now you can go all the way to each end, or you can do something fancy, which is when you are drawing out this line, you can stop the ends of the line at the 1-inch mark and the 1-inch mark on the opposite ends, and that's going to give you your lineup for the opposite edge. Let's do the same thing again. Let's line up on our 1-inch. Let's make a mark right at the end of the ruler. Line up on the 1-inch, right? This isn't our first 1-inch border we've done. We've done this before, so I'm doing this a little bit quicker than I would normally if this was the first border we had ever put on a paper. All right, and now once again, I'm gonna go from a little bit fancier from my 1-inch mark to 1-inch over here, right? My paper's 8.5. So to create 1-inch, half-inch, half-inch, 7.5 is 1 inches in on the end. Ta-da! And now all I have to do is connect these 2 edges and I have my border with no erasing. Super cool. But if you are not comfortable that way and ruler skills are still a little bit tricky for you, I recommend going all the way to the edge at the end and then erasing. All right, and there's my 1-inch border. Now, I think the really neat thing about this border on this particular project is it's going to become very active. It's not going to be just a passive border that we keep beautifully clean. This border is going to become an active part of our drawing space that we integrate into this cool, surreal boxes landscape we create. Okay, so I've got my border frame. Now what I need to do is establish my horizon line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my ruler up. I'm going to be working horizontally, but remember in our setup for those class directions, if you're doing a little bit of catch-up, you can work vertically on this too. Horizontal or vertical. I'm going to work horizontal just because it kind of fits better with the camera here. Okay, so I'm going to line my ruler up at the bottom of the paper. I'm going to try to keep it as parallel as possible. Parallel, parallel, parallel to the bottom edge. You can always check this too with your ruler marks. Just make sure you're lined up even, right? If it's like that, no good. Make sure you're lined up evenly on those marks. And about halfway, you could be a little bit above halfway, a little bit below. Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting a really important step. Stop, 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 stop. Oh, can you believe it? I'm forgetting a really important step. I forgot to put our wings onto our drawing. I was doing it on the smaller paper and I forgot the wings. Okay, sorry. Pause here for a second. I gotta grab some tape. And I'm back. That's embarrassing. How could I forget the wings on the paper? We need our drafting wings before we do any super awesome horizon line. Okay, sorry about that all. Woo, embarrassing moment. Okay, let's go ahead and flip our paper over. Make sure your name's on the back. There it is. Okay, let's take our wings. Let's put our drafting wings onto the back of our paper. So grab that computer paper I gave you. Remember, I'm working half size, so if it's on the camera better, you should be working full size, so you'll have 2 sheets of computer paper instead of my 2 half sheets. And we're going to tape these little wings to the back of our paper. This is what's going to allow us to play with that border and extend boxes beyond or going behind the border. Wow, okay, that was almost a big mistake. Good thing I caught myself. Whew. All right, now let's take that ruler. Here we go, let's put in that horizon line. So I'm gonna line my ruler up, try to keep it as even and parallel to the bottom edge as possible. And I'm gonna put in a horizon line that not only cuts through my border, but do you see how it goes off onto the wings of the paper? Now at the very end of your horizon line, go ahead and put in vanishing point A, and give yourself an actual dot to draw to. Don't just rely on the end of the line. Give yourself an actual dot. Point B. Here's what I mean by an actual factual dot. Let me hold this up to the camera closer. All right, I've given myself an actual factual little dot, VPA, VPB, okay, so that I have my horizon line, and now I have a perfect base to start my drawing work. Okay. First thing we need to add on to our project is going to be some boxes. So join me in the next video for a box practice, and then we'll apply it to the drawing. See you again in Miss Raga's art room.